All right, today come along with me as I race prep my 2024 Beta 300RR. All right, so we're race prepping our Beta 300 today. So we're just gonna go over a few things that we're gonna bring with us extra to the race. We have these old bolt kits. They say Suzuki on them, but really they have a lot of different bolts in them, from old bikes to new bolts to newer bikes. We also have these old bolts here too, and another one full of washers. Another thing we're gonna want to bring is some drills. So here's a Milwaukee regular drill, and then here's an impact. So we're gonna bring all that stuff as well to the race with us, just so we have a little extra tools with us, as well as our regular toolbox, which will be that top one right there that has all our dirt bike tools in it, just so if we need anything, we have it. Another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten every bolt here on the engine of the bike. We're gonna tighten all the plastic bolts. We're gonna tighten everything, make sure it's all torqued or just tightened, so we have nothing come loose during the race. I would recommend checking your linkage down here. I also would recommend checking your front triple clamps torque up there, your tire torque of your tire or your axle bolt. I would also recommend checking your tire pressure. So we'll check our tire pressure right now. All right, we are gonna find the valve stem here. It's right here. We're gonna undo the valve stem cap. We're gonna take our little reader here, and we're gonna check the tire pressure, and that's right at 12. With tires, I would recommend anything between 12 and 13. If you're a little bit of a heavier guy, maybe even a little bit more than that. We don't want to go super heavy with the pressure, just because it'll make the ride feel uncomfortable. But that also being said, we don't want to go too light, because when we go too light, we could run a risk of getting a pinch flat, and that's when the tire compresses and pinches the tube in the rim, and that could cause us to have a flat tire as well. So I would recommend 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. All right, we're gonna find this front valve stem, take off the cap. Again, use our handy checker here. That one's right at 11. I don't know if you're able to see that or not. That one's right at 11. We're gonna put some into that. We're gonna put this on there so I don't lose it. We're gonna put some in there, just because I don't wanna run the risk of getting a pinch flat. We're gonna be going through the woods, so we don't wanna go over a log or go over a rock and pinch the tire in there and get a flat. Some people do run mousses, which is a rubber insert or foam, I think sometimes, dense foam. Those are really good for if you're in the woods. They're just quite expensive. I believe they're about $150. So just on the budget that I have, it's not attainable. So we're just running regular tubes in these. Some tubes that are really good are the Dunlop or the Bridgestone. I've heard really good things. In here right now are the stock tubes that come with the Beta. I think those are good. This is my second set of tires, and I've had no problems. So one thing I would recommend is, if you are getting new tires, maybe check your tubes and check your tubes, see if you need some new ones, or in the future, maybe switch to some mousses, or they are also known as bibs. All right, another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these flathead screwdrivers, and we are gonna bleed our front forks. So it's kind of hard to see from that angle. I'll move you in a second, but we're gonna take one of these flathead screwdrivers, undo this little valve here, and it's just screw on, and it lets out the excess air in the fork to make it a little bit more of a comfort ride. So I'll bring you closer, we'll do the other side. You might even hear a little hiss. That's just that extra air building up in the fork. All right, so we're now sitting on the bike, just to show you here. So this little valve right there is the one that's our bleeder, and then that main one right there, that is our dampening. So we're gonna loosen this one right here, And I have it already pre-loosened just a little bit so I can do this while holding as I fail here. It's quite hard to do this. So you didn't hear any air in that. That's all you have to do is take out that one. That one wasn't too bad. The other one had a little bit more air in it. And then you're gonna want to put it back in, tighten it up snug, and then that's all you're gonna want to do for the bleeding your front forks. All right, so next what we're gonna want to do is check our sag. I'm not gonna check it here, but I just want to say you should be getting in the habit of checking your sag probably about every time you ride. So here's our rear shock. Basically what we're gonna do is measure the distance from a mark on the frame that you put, or on the plastic that you put on the plastic, to the rear axle nut, which is down here. And that should be around 105, 104 to 107. And this Beta I run 107. So basically I'm just making sure that this nut right there is tight, all the linkage is tight underneath, and that'll just give us the right measurement to make it feel comfortable for when I ride the bike. All right, another thing I'm gonna do here in the garage today is use this SC1. I'm not sponsored by SC1. It's just so mud does not stick to the bike. So I'm gonna use it underneath the front fender here, underneath the rear fender, underneath anything plastic, on top of anything plastic. One thing I do not wanna do is I do not wanna use it on the seat. It'll make you slip right off. We don't wanna do that. So we're gonna hit everything on the bike other than the seat. And that'll just make sure mud doesn't, stick to the bike while we're riding it, making it really heavy.